Now, this list was a bit easier to come up with. It's a compliment to his legal team that this wasn't a longer list, to be honest. Here is the top 11 times Vince McMahon was a cunt. Number 11. The Montreal Screwjob. If you're a wrestling fan, then you know what the Montreal Screwjob is and what Vince's part in it was, and if not, then just check out any wrestling YouTube channel, podcast, shoot interview, documentary, sex tape, or anything else related to wrestling over like the last about 20-25 years, and you'll know what the Montreal Screwjob is. Needless to say, Vince was a cunt in the Montreal Screwjob, telling Bret they'd do a DQ finish, but ended up calling for the bell while Bret Hart was in his own hold, being applied by Shawn Michaels, and he made it look like Bret had tapped out. What a cunt. What a cunt. Number 10. Cheating on his wife. We all suspected it, but when Vince went on the Howard Stern show, he confirmed it.
But wait, so in other words, there's a lot of temptation. When you're a billionaire, you're a nice-looking guy.
Who are you doing?
Yeah. Who are you doing? Who did you
Me?
get?
Now?
Yeah.
No one.
No, years ago, who'd you get?
Oh,
give us the list.
If it had a skirt.
I wonder if that means that he's had it away with the headbangers as well. Number 9. Treatment of Tiger Ali Singh. If Vince isn't going to respect the religious beliefs of one of his all-time top stars, he isn't going to respect the religious beliefs of Tiger Ali Singh. On a plane, Tiger Ali Singh asked Vince if he could not wear the turban he was meant to wear because it was against his religious beliefs. And Vince said, "Put on the turban."
He goes, "Shut up and put on a turban."
Vince is cold. And he's not very polite as well, you know, he could have said, "Please," you know, it's not very polite. Number 8. The way he handled Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Now, I'm going to say the word allegedly a lot in this bit, and make of this what you will, but back in 1983, Jimmy Superfly Snuka was arrested for charges of misdemeanor assault in the 3rd degree, felony assault in the 2nd degree against Nancy Argentino, and also misdemeanor counts of resisting arrest and obstructing government administration. And Vince allegedly tried to talk Nancy out of filing charges. And then 4 months later, she was brown bread. And when Jimmy Superfly Snuka was questioned about it, allegedly a briefcase of money was left at the police station. And there was no ladders about, so, you know, this wasn't, you know, a match or anything. Anyway, if you look at all the evidence, it looks pretty likely that Jimmy Superfly Snuka done in his girlfriend. Allegedly. But still, WWE didn't just continue to employ him every now and again. They put him in the Hall of Fame, and they gave him a proper tribute when he died. I'm not surprised China was pissed. Porn? How could you? Allegedly murder your girlfriend? Well, that's alright, you know, that's fair enough. After Stone Cold Steve Austin was done for domestic abuse against Deborah, he also, allegedly, told Deborah never to discuss it publicly. So yeah, again, you know, allegedly, more times Vince was a cunt. Number 7. Interviewing the wife of Brian Pillman just after her husband died. Everyone knows people that you don't want to say bad news to, because they'll just make you feel even worse by talking about all the negative ways it could affect you. Well, my bad news was just getting rejected again. Not even news, really. But imagine your husband has just passed away, and a day after, Vince interviews you on live TV and asks questions like this.
Have you had any opportunity to think about what you, now as a single parent, will do to support your 5 children?
What a cunt. What a cunt. Number 6. The way he treats interviewers. If you thought being interviewed by Vince is bad, try interviewing him. When he went on David Letterman in 1989, he gave one-word answers and was hard to interview. But David Letterman didn't have a BTEC module riding on the interview, so you know, it's fine. So then he went on Conan O'Brien years later, and out of nowhere, he said this.
Ted Turner has an action figure. You should see his.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
It takes lithium all day long, you know.
That's a lawsuit! lawsuit.
Yeah, another lawsuit. Just what I'm looking for.
But you know, this was before people started to take mental health problems seriously. You know, like 2 or 3 years ago. So, you know, it wasn't too bad. Then, years later, he did this.
They live this lifestyle. Oh my God.
What a cunt. What a cunt. Number 5. Treatment of talent. Now, I could have made a top 11 on just the ways he treated talent alone. So I'm just going to try and encompass it in this one point here. And I'm probably going to miss some stuff out. But yeah, you should see the way that he treats talent. If you're travelling all over the world, getting slammed on hard ring mats, tables, hit with weapons for most of the year, you could really do with healthcare and travel covered. Surely, the WWE, a public company worth billions, they'll cover it. No, they won't. Furthermore, if you get pregnant, he'll fire you. Want to take time off to spend with your pregnant wife? You'll be fired. And cunts can roam around freely doing all kinds of awful shit and they won't get punished. He puts couples on different brands, he stops talent from making an income outside of wrestling, or he asks for a cut from that money that they've made outside of wrestling, even though these wrestlers are private contractors. He fires people on their wedding days. He employed Ryback. He books wrestlers to lose in their hometown. He books women to bark like a dog on TV. He books women to make out with him. And that's just scratching the surface. It's just... Number 4. Treatment of JR. Now, I've signalled out JR specifically here, which should tell you how bad he was treated. JR is someone who's integral to the success of WWE for years, and in those years, Vince has fired him 4 times. He's mocked his Bell's palsy on air, made a sketch to mock him with one of the fittest women in wrestling who I've never seen again for some reason. He made Jim Ross wrestle Triple H, drafted him to another brand on air and not told him before they were on air. Why does Vince do this to JR? And who was that woman in the sketch? I've tried Google searching her. Who was she? Number 3. Trying to hamper other promotions. Now, I gave Vince credit for compensating ECW when he was signing their talent. However, in pretty much every other instance, Vince has done the exact opposite. He won't just steal talent, he'll steal other promotions' TV time slots like he did to the AWA. He'll say to pay-per-view providers, if you work with our opposition, you won't get WrestleMania, like he did to the NWA. They don't just steal wrestlers, they steal other promotions' commentators, like they tried to do to the UFC. Then there's the no-compete clauses that they have wrestlers sign, so when the wrestlers leave, they can't work for other promotions for a certain period of time. And then there's the wrestlers they sign just so other promotions can't use them. He signs other promotions' talent and puts on shows in that promotion's territory. When it comes to hampering his competition, Vince doesn't play around. Number 2. The Saudi shows. I mean, yeah, WWE doesn't care who pays them, no matter what their views are on human rights. And that's just taking money from Donald Trump to host WrestleMania 4 and 5. They also did a load of stuff with Saudi Arabia. I mean, what? Now here are some alleged mentions. Sexual assault of a referee, allegedly. Sexual assault of a tanning salon attendant, allegedly. Distributing steroids to wrestlers, allegedly. Covering up the Ring Boy scandal, allegedly. Defrauding stockholders, allegedly. And I could go on. Number 1. Blocking good content creators' work for copyright. I mean, what a fucking